This is a book review of Uncle Sam, the Deluxe Edition. It's a hardback, approximately 130 pages. There's no page number, so I had to count them. And I probably counted them wrong. Vertigo Books, obviously DC. And it came out in 2009. It's based on some comics, Uncle Sam 1 and 2, that came out in 1997. It's by Steve Darnall and Alex Ross, brilliant artist. I bought it for Alex Ross, obviously, but the story itself is pretty amazing. I think it's a lovely little story. But Alex Ross, of course, his artwork is superb, marvels, etc., mythology. So I'm just going to quickly flip. Now, Uncle Sam obviously is a character, a symbol of America, spirit of America. Though sometimes in this, I'm not certain if he is or not. He's certainly very angry. There's an anger, tortured voice that he sort of like talks to the camera, talks out the panel, talking to some other people. Things happen. He goes from one senior in 1776, so obviously clearly he's immortal or certainly lives a long time. And then he's in a sort of whole war scene, or then he's suddenly in an alleyway, then he's in a shop, or he's in the hospital. He keeps bouncing from scene to scene. But it's just very well done. I mean, obviously the artwork is just absolutely beautiful. Got lots of the references. To me, don't mean much because obviously being British, some of these I don't know. Obviously some I do. Some I've read, picked up over the years, but there's all these things like the rallies and things. You've got politicians running for things, and he gets himself in a lot of trouble all the way through this book, and lots of characters that it's a really, really brilliant read. My favourite bits are like this bit where he's with Britannia. So Britannia is also in here as well, as obviously the spirit of Britannia. And she looks very frayed around the edges. She's got a battered, lots of, not looking as good as she probably could have been. Probably that describes Britain pretty well. However, I'm certain we will rise to the challenge, as they always keep saying on the radio and TV. But there's also a lovely bit with France as well that's in here. I'm not going to say anything more about that, but but the thing is, just don't know whether it's the spirit of America, or whether he is spirit, or he's just some guy that's dressed up, just going around and mumbling and complaining. The world is against me. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you not the? Why not? What's for freedom, etc. And I just think it's what a superb book, and so the artwork is superb. There's lovely bits where you've got a Russian bear. I assume he's Russian. Never said, of course, but of course you have to assume that's what he is. But I love the bits where he's back in we go into sort of like a muted sepia-like colour. And that's back in 1776, or that period, with his, obviously, his wife. But I love the bit where, another bit that's brilliant, an antique shop in there. Quite often, the sort of thing you think, wow, wouldn't it be great to find, just out in the middle of nowhere, this antique shop with altered Action Comics #1. I don't think that actually is in there at all. I just made that bit up. But that's the sort of thing, you find all these brilliant things, all these magazines and books, and I love that sort of stuff. Just sort of dream-like place. But anyway, sadly that doesn't happen. But it's just a brilliant story. And it's got some extras at the back. It's got the history of Uncle Sam. So you've got some lovely illustrations here. Obviously the early versions of Uncle Sam. Also got obviously the one from Mad. And National Comics, you've got the one obviously from Quality Comics, because that was by Will Eisner. Apparently did 6 issues. I did not realise he only did 6, and it was Lou Fine. And you can find lots of copies of these Quality Comic, National Comics, etc. online. Of course, you can also buy them. Sadly, I don't think there's a there was lots of these like Lou Fine readers quite a few years ago. They probably had examples as well. But Uncle Sam you can find. And now, of course, DC have obviously got him in character in Freedom Fighters, those sort of things. So he's still going in DC Comics. I don't know if regularly or not. However, you've got some lovely drawings at the back, some obviously pencil drawings, some layouts. I just love this sort of section. Love bonus section at the back. Just really brilliant. And of course, you've got some biographies, some more illustration. But the artwork, story, this is first rate. This is just an amazing book. I say, if you're being British, perhaps doesn't mean as much, Uncle Sam, but obviously I think this is just an absolute gem of a book. I love this comic book.